Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our earnings call on this beautiful, beautiful afternoon. And I just realized I'm not ready. We've got big earnings today, well, the biggest in the market as we're getting ready. And as Andrew would say, I've got to get into character, right? He always says get back into character. Hold on a sec. I gotta put my hair on.
No. What has Peter got for us today?
All right, now I'm good to go. I don't have the hair that Jensen Wang does, so the gray hat is going to sub in for hair. He's got the beautiful head of hair, but yes, I've got my Nvidia out uniform on, so I think we're ready to go here for Nvidia earnings, the biggest company the stock market in the world has ever seen. Tapping in here at 5 trillion, as we like to say nowadays. Well, it used to be. It's there and abouts. Let's just, it's around that area. And we're expecting big things out of Nvidia. The market is looking for Nvidia to just go a little gangbusters. And yes, everybody wants to know what the earnings are. Those are numbers they're looking at. If we look at it by data, everybody's looking for about $54.6 billion in revenue in this quarter, about $1.18 in earnings. And, they better do that. But more importantly, what everybody wants to see is what their forecast is looking like, their forward-looking guidance, because Nvidia, as we know, has been driven by the continued demand of AI, high-powered, high-end chips, and everybody wants to know, do they think that trend is going to continue? So Nvidia's got a very, very challenging game, right? They've got to thread the needle on this one. Assuming that their sales aren't gangbusters, and that's maybe me, but if their sales are gangbusters, then no problem. They just have to tell everybody the way it is. If they're not, then they got a very careful game about giving a forecast that is aggressive but still achievable. So it's going to be interesting to see what they choose to do and how they approach this and where the numbers go. Now, we all know NVIDIA's had... look at that. You can't tell us apart.
Look at that. It's like the same. Did you get the jacket from Temu?
No, I didn't. I just need hold on. Let me put the little,
there you go. You got to get the mic in.
Yeah, I get the mic in there. Now, see? It's like we're the same person, almost. I just need a shave, maybe. Anyways, all right.
I love it.
So we all know NVIDIA's been on a wonderful run in terms of its stock price. And, some of what we're going to need to look at is, of course, its performance on the charts, because that's the thing that drives this company and has driven the market, frankly, over the last little while. I know, Mike, you've got some insight on that.
Yeah. So I think the biggest news that NVIDIA had during this quarter wasn't really NVIDIA itself, but it was that SoftBank divested or got rid of their position in NVIDIA, which was $5.8 billion, which really impacted the stock over the last couple of weeks, right? When you get rid of that much of your shares, the price is going to come down so that position can be liquidated, right? So we have a little bit of that from where it was at the high of day. So what is that? Is that SoftBank and their board saying, hey, I think we're at the top of this AI bubble and we're going to reap our profits from our initial benefit of this? Or is this, you know what? I don't think NVIDIA is going to meet their earnings or beat their earnings. So we're going to take our profit now and we're going to let it smooth out and then we'll reinvest. So it's going to be interesting. The other interesting thing that you talked about, Peter, is kind of what do they have to say? And I think the true investor perspective is coming from more of a geopolitical and export control. China's a huge market. The US has put a restriction on the sales of NVIDIA chips to China. So, how does that impact their revenues? How are they able to make up for that when that was built into the equation prior to this kind of tariff war, as you can say, with China that we've gone off with? They also have their AI hardware known as the Blackwell platform, and it's a data center, and it is cited as a major growth area for it. But in the ramp up to that this quarter, they've had some overheating issues, which can kind of throw off the performance and expectations of possibility what it could do overall. So that leads me into what investors are watching. Uh, I I kind of say meeting expectations is going to be like missing expectations, right? Investors want to see a blowout on this, and and really the market needs it, right? Right now, Nvidia is kind of holding in the balance. Nvidia misses earnings. Nvidia doesn't make their earnings. Nvidia shows signs of weakness in AI. And this market could really end up pulling back off of that news because of greater fear within that AI bubble. And the possibility that maybe SoftBank was right, that we're at the bubble and they were getting out before it got popped, right? Uh, the other thing they're going to be looking at is what is the demand for Blackwell and how are they able to turn that into revenue and how's it being supported within their margins. And like I already mentioned, the commentary on the supply chain constraints that they may experience are going to be huge, especially with the restrictions on China. If we look at their chart, I've kind of marked two lines on here. The 195, 65-ish level, that's kind of the topish type of range we had before kind of the push and attempted breakout before SoftBank declared they were selling. And that kind of drove us back down into, as Jared calls, the park or the fence, right? Into the playground. Uh, the support area, I marked it 164, and that's really the bottom of the area after last earnings report. Last earnings were on October 27th. It gapped down and continued to sell off before finally recovering and making a new all-time high, and then we've kind of pulled back. Interesting, you see where I've highlighted on the chart the earnings day where it closed and then the following day's earnings. Our current price is just slightly higher than where that high of the day was before they announced earnings. So it's there. As far as the bearable traders community, I don't think a day goes by that someone in the community doesn't attempt to trade Nvidia, whether it be to the long side or the short side. So it is heavily traded in this community, and I do not foresee that changing in the near time. And as a disclosure, which I probably should have put this in the beginning, I actually hold a long-term position in this. So I am totally biased, and I truly hope that they blow out expectations and push this thing above 220 on its way to be 6 trillion as a company. So
There you
go,
go.
go, go.
Okay.
So with that, Jared, I know we're never going to make that, but what are we expecting today?
Yeah, those are future dreams. Whether it happens or not, those are always numbers we can aspire to. So Nvidia's expected move is currently sitting right around $14 plus or minus. So as always, we're going to be leveraging the weekly options on Nvidia to get a sense of what the initial reaction might look like, what sort of volatility are we expecting, and generally where the heavier players are positioned into the earnings themselves. The $14 is coming from this upper sort of range that's created from the platform. It's a representation of implied volatility for the stock. And as you can see, that would put NVIDIA's price somewhere between, I would say, 199 and 171 depending on if we close back at 185 when I originally marked this. Nvidia is kind of on the move right now. It kind of pushed up near its high of day, so we might need to adjust that slightly, but really we're looking at sort of a big fat round number at 200. And then if we were to sort of extrapolate a little bit lower, 170 to the downside. So the support that Mike mentioned, it's very nearby at 165. And as always, I mark the $5 trillion price point at 205.39, I think it is. I forgot the exact pennies when it first hit. So we've got a lot to look forward to as far as the move. The options are suggesting that a lot of positions are centered at the $200 price. You'll notice the call activity today is highest near 200, and that adds additional insight into some of the open interest, which is also placed there at 200. You could also argue that volume did come in today at 190. That appears to be a level that the sellers are trying to protect in the short term. So it's possible that that's almost a hedge, just in case some of the sellers are going to basically get, I would say, like broken from. Obviously you could theoretically be short and have some upside calls for protection. The last one of note, especially on the call side, is 205, and that corresponds with $5 trillion market cap. So my guess is that a lot of this positioning is both bullish, in line with the expected move, and to some degree, aligning itself with reclaiming $5 trillion market cap. Um, Put side activity, I would say, is relatively normal. I don't see anything outright heavy. There's a little bit of elevated activity between 180 and 170, but as always, I'm going to just go with the expected move number. And for me, that would just be focused on 170. In total, Nvidia is one of our obviously our darlings in this market, and its performance year to date is about 37 to 38%. So a lot is riding both on the continued performance, but also maintaining sort of that status of this performance is deserved during this sort of yearly, I would say, AI cycle. I'm not going to call it a bubble yet, but I'll just do a cycle. Um, so, as always, we're looking for those expected move targets. I've got them drawn on the chart here. I'll make some slight adjustments as we get closer. And as far as trading it is concerned, certainly would be looking for a move to these levels. NVIDIA is pretty good at overnight trade and just kind of shooting towards some price objectives. But there is a case to be made that if we get a lower than expected move, something that's a little bit smaller, we can have these levels for tomorrow, and our intraday traders can take advantage of that, hopefully getting the remainder of the move to take place. So that's all I got. Best of luck to the Bulls, and be careful if you're in position because there is some downside priced in here, some pretty significant downside.
Let's go 205. 205.
5 trillion.
205.
5 trillion.
Mike's
Sorry.
got he knows where he wants it to go. All right, we'll see what happens.
Yep.
The other one that we're going to take a look at this afternoon was poor little lowly Palo Alto Networks. Now they've been around for a while. I say lowly Palo Alto Networks because they're a legitimate company. Remember we looked at Cisco on earnings a couple weeks ago. Palo Alto Networks in the same sort of sector. They do networking gear. Of course, these days it's all about the software enablement. It's about it's about AI. It's about cloud services. It's about data transfer security. It's about all that stuff. So Palo Alto Networks is they named after. I think this is where they were founded in Palo Alto, although their headquarters are now in Santa Clara, California, just down the road from Palo Alto. But I knew them back in the 90s when I used to work with them. They are expected to deliver about 2.46 billion in revenue. As I say, a little bit smaller than the 54 billion we're looking at of Nvidia, and 89 cents a share. Now, Palo Alto Networks is not one that we follow as closely, only because as a trading stock, they haven't been they just don't trade the same volume and the same volatility, right, that we like as active traders. That being said, being that they are the opening act, it's like it is like an opening act, isn't it? It's like because they actually release their earnings at 4:05, whereas Nvidia comes at 4:20. It's always tough to be an opening act, especially when your mainliner is the big one, whether that's a Taylor Swift or a U2, going back to my day. It's tough to be the opening act for one of those, right? Like you're just warming up the crowd. So we'll see what they've got for us. Mike, what do you think when you look at the charts?
Well, first off, if you're a part of the board, you're probably pissed off that Nvidia moved their earnings earlier because last cycle Nvidia did their earnings August 27th, almost 9 days after they reported earnings. So that's one thing. Now, with it, it's all AI, right? Anytime you're talking about any type of technology or database or networking or any type of company, it's all about the AI. And Palo Alto is no different. They launched an AI-driven securities offering. So basically, they're trying to incorporate AI into their security. Um, Interesting enough, if you also look at the chart here, back on July 29th, they proposed a $25 billion acquisition of CyberArk software. And this is to bolster that identity security operations, right? So they understand what their core feature was. They didn't have what they needed to be relevant in the market. So they basically said, haha, we're bigger than you. We're going to buy your company, right? Or propose to buy your company so that we can at least compete in this market so that we don't go under and go bankrupt, is basically what they did. So investors initially, right? You say, hey, I'm getting rid of 25 billion. Don't really like it, so the stock goes down. But as you can tell from the chart, it's recovered from that, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. What are investors watching? Well, they want to first see, hey, are you meeting expectations? And just kind of like NVIDIA, they want to exceed expectations, right? Especially with where they have proposed their company going. So they not only need to be reaffirmed that they made the right decision by staying in this after that news came out, because that news came out before they launched earnings. So people that are in that position have assumed that risk, and now they want a return on that risk, right? They want to see the subscription growth in this next gen security services, as far as cloud services, AI, and as far as the identity services. They also want to know, how are they handling the margins under this pressure of expanding the company? Are you expending too much without getting enough in return? And I think probably the biggest thing, other than the numbers themselves, is going to be, hey, what's your timeline on this deal? Because remember, it's a proposed deal. It's not that they've finalized this deal or have actually acquired this CyberArk. They're still in the process of it. So they want to know, hey, what's the timeline? When are you looking at finalizing this? Is it going to get approved? And they want to know about that. When we kind of look at the chart, you kind of got to look at it in two different kind of segments. If we look at it on a yearly basis, we're pretty much range bound, not necessarily flat. We are up on the year, but it's really range bound. The big thing is that we have gotten above that initial gap down from that 29 billion or $25 billion acquisition news that came out. When they reported earnings, they gapped up, but then they sold off. And after that sell-off, though, we had a very nice trend up to the high of day. And now, over the past few weeks, we've been kind of selling off, and we're down into that kind of middle of the range. The interesting, if you look at that candle, you're at the middle of the candle on the news day, right? So we're right in that middle. Are we going up? Are we going down from it? Which leads to the support and resistance lines. The support line that I've kind of identified is 193. That's obviously the low of day before that news broke, and then we had that big gap down. So that's there. And then I marked up near 220.03 as well as kind of the top range. It did try to break out of that, but I feel that 220 range is more of an area that's kind of providing the resistance that it can't get through. Last earnings, as I've talked about, August 18th, gapped up, sold off, then went into a nice uptrend. As far as the community, I think we traded when we got news. And I think this today and tomorrow is going to be that opportunity. I do think it's going to be a little bit more volatile than it's been in the past because people are going to get information about that buyout, whether they like it or whether they don't like it. With that, Jared, I'll turn it over to you.
All right. Yeah, perfect. I think I've only traded this one maybe like twice this year, so I tend to agree. It's not a stock you want to look at very often, but boy can it move whenever it's ready. So the stock is pricing what appears to be $14 of expected movement, so similar number to Nvidia. It was as high as 15 right before we kind of signed in this session, but I am seeing that the current at the money prints are somewhere in the $14 range. So gonna stick with 14, but I will say 15 is probably a good little extra error bar to kind of add to it because the way these options are constructed, they're a little thinner. There's not as much trade going on, and it's trading in 2.5 strike ranges. So a lot more, I would say, like jumpy as far as where the larger orders are going to sit. But assuming we do close at 200, and it looks like they are coming back to 200 for this one, Nvidia, maybe, we'll see. 185 is close. Um, that plus or minus 15 makes the math a little easy. The upper expected move would be somewhere around 215. And as you can see, it really doesn't clear anything of note. It just kind of puts it back before maybe like the week of selling it's been going under past 5 or 6 days. Downside would be 185. And as Mike mentioned, year-to-date performance is kind of sketchy. It's up on the year as of this moment, but the 185 print is actually the opening print of the year. So you can almost imagine the candle of the yearly session has been basically battling low end and high end. And right now we might be looking at a stock that's about to be flat on the year. So we'll be prepared for either of those moves. Looking at prior earnings, I do think this stock is capable of moving pretty quick overnight. A lot of the volatility actually does show up the next day, but the overnight gaps on most of the earnings are visibly relevant. Obviously, you want to ignore the August news. That's like your biggest gap on the chart, but most of the earnings do have some sort of overnight activity, of which we're trying to probably capture a good portion of it with these expected move boundaries. So hopefully we get some movement on that one. And really, for that one, just be careful with the spread. Given that it is trading those 2.5 wide strikes, this would be one where the market maker probably moves pretty quickly from every $2.5 of range. So you might have to be careful with how you're managing size, just given the overnight trade. That's all I
So yeah,
got.
it's interesting that 185 is also kind of the top of that gap down too, right?
Exactly. It's a key area of interest for sure.
That we had on there. So the downside, I think some of that downside might be either a good place for a bounce off, especially if it goes quickly.
hmm
Good area because there's some support that you can find down there.
Exactly.
Uh, I'm missing
Okay. While
something.
I've been doing that, I've been trading my 1 to 10 here, not getting the moves I'm looking for, but It's coming into the close, about 5 minutes away from the close now.
I need to get logged in. I thought I was logged
And
into
oh,
Market
look at a little
Atlas.
pop up on Tesla. Move down on Apple. Oh my goodness, and AMD is popping up here, trying to regain some of what it lost. AMD had a big move down today. I'm not sure if that's in anticipation of, the sort of negative effect of Nvidia earnings, or if it's not related at all. But certainly had good movement today.
Yeah, a
All right,
couple
just as a
notes.
reminder. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Couple notes as well, just with NVIDIA's impact to the overall market. Remember when we're trading a Mag 7 stock and NVIDIA is the maggiest of mags? Um,
The Maggie of bags.
It is going to impact the entire index and a lot of tech heavy products or anything semiconductor related. So, one thing you'll note is while we're looking at the reaction of NVIDIA, you're going to see some pretty big moves typically in the NASDAQ, so the QQQs. You'll probably see it in the SPY as well. XLK, the technology ETF. Typically, you won't get the volume there, but they'll shift the price around based on the movement. And things like semiconductor ETFs, SMH, SOXX are some examples. So obviously, people run to other semiconductors for sympathy trades, but really during this time, we're going to see a lot of sympathy in products that hold NVIDIA as one of its major market cap assets. So just be on the lookout for that and don't be surprised when it happens. We usually have to kind of reiterate that NVIDIA is a monster and can move things.
Why can't I move this down? Oh, uh, so I pulled up Market Atlas for both Nvidia and Palo Alto. It's interesting. There's lots of orders up to the top side, like you mentioned with the options orders, Jared. But to the downside on Palo Alto is that it's hard to see here because the numbers get scrunched, but that 180, that 195 area has quite a bit on it as well. So it'll be interesting if we go through that number very quickly when these earnings come out.
Yeah,
Now, of course, be aware with Market Atlas, as soon as the market closes, you will see the orders come off the book, right? Like you'll literally see these cleared out before earnings come out. So be aware of that. But it's just a good insight to see, hey, where are people positioning going into the close right now?
exactly. Yeah, they might just want to get
So,
filled at those prices, and any momentary volatility, even right
yeah,
before the close, could get them filled.
yeah.
So,
And we are after the 1 to 10, which is when everybody has to reposition their margin account. So to get within the overnight margin. So you're seeing what people are willing to hold overnight or get into overnight. So
Indeed. Don't forget earnings time. Palo Alto Networks comes out at 4:05, and Nvidia we're looking at 4:20. So, like we've seen though this season, not everything comes out to schedule. So, in fact, early in some cases. So, we'll yeah, I don't expect it early, but it could happen.
yes, it could.
I am short on Tesla here and hoping for a move back down below 403 before the close. I only have a minute to make it happen. So come on, Tesla, drop. It's hanging out
Tesla.
just below my break even on this. Is not good. It was doing good earlier. I got a good dollar move on it and then it popped back up.
Tesla was a good stock all day, I think.
yeah, there's
AMD.
pretty good
Yeah.
opportunities today. The morning drive I thought was quite a special move and pretty straightforward. And the sell-off that occurred right after. I mean, we've had a day of basically peaks and valleys in a lot of things,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
some peaks are higher than others.
And that AMD sell off today, too.
Hmm.
Wee. It
Okay.
was like a
Well,
slide got put out. Like, hey, check out my slip and slide.
All right, there's the closing bell. I am out of Tesla. We're done with
There we
that.
go.
PANW and
I will turn on Benzinga. Let's see if we get Palo
NVIDIA.
Altos.
All right, if you haven't done
Off
earnings
on the
before,
filter.
everybody, you know what to look for. We're going to see candles, big loopy candles jumping all over the place. So the current price action is going to end up looking very small compared to the size of the move. It almost always
Oops,
happens.
wrong one.
Um, it may be on volume, it may not. You don't know. Nvidia is definitely going to get volume. So we know there's
Yeah.
going to be, a fair amount of volume on that. Palo Alto may be a little bit different. Um, but we'll keep an eye on it for you here and let you know. We have some initial moves, people positioning. You can see we just had a dollar move back up to yesterday's close. We're almost, but I don't think their numbers are out yet.
No,
Let's look at the news up here.
we will see.
I've been Zynga News. Jason W, if you just joined, so for everybody, earnings 405 for Palo Alto Networks and 420 for Nvidia. So
Yep.
those are our
Earnings
targets.
call, Jared. Do you know when the call is? By chance?
Ooh, I do not. I haven't.
Jason's asking in the chat room, so
Hmm.
That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know that.
It says it's at 4, but that's not quite in alignment with the release of the data, so
yeah.
I
That
don't
for
quite know.
local time? They're doing it California time?
No, that'd be Eastern on this one.
Yes, Jason, I like your idea. Time for scotch.
Actually, no, it is Central. Sorry, you're right. So 4
Uh,
Central, so probably 5 Eastern.
5 Eastern.
Yeah,
There you go. That makes sense. That
that would make
matches.
a lot more sense.
Yeah. Weird that it's in Central time.
Well, that's me. It's probably my platform.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I thought it adjusted, but it didn't.
It wants you to put in the time where you're at.
Mhm. Yeah, it wasn't trick me.
Trick you, trick you.
So we're in the calm before the storm. As we can see, volumes have dropped off.
I'm enjoying my Japanese coffee and my Monaco mug.
Japanese coffee in a Monaco. That's very multinational of you.
Yes.
Let's see. Kind of looking as well. Should you trade SOXL to capture the entire sector? I think it's okay to trade something like a semiconductor ETF. If you're comfortable with the leverage side, SOXL would be one option. I'm always going to call out the ETF itself, not the trading products. So
Oh,
SOXX would be
there's the
the
car.
ETF.
All right, taking a look at
Just waiting, 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 waiting.
and Palo Alto. All right, so
Is that right? Does anyone else get tense around these times? Like the fate of the entire
The
asset
entire
class?
market, your 401ks, literally.
I mean, I think only if you're trying to, trade it. I mean, if you're worried about your retirement, then you shouldn't be watching. Go do something else. Like that's too
Exactly.
much. Too much pressure.
Yeah.
Shouldn't do that.
We all know the video will carry us home one way or another. We just don't know where home is.
As long as it's not downward,
Yeah.
205.
Yeah. If you're diversified in your investments,
Oh,
Nvidia
yeah.
should be nice and cozy as a performance stock right now.
Divestment or diversified? What's that?
Yeah.
Multiple eggs or single egg?
Yeah, I'll keep an eye
I may
on.
have to start pawning my Starbucks collection on eBay.
That's when you know it's volatile. All right. Palo Alto should be coming out shortly.
Yep, just waiting. I'm
Should
waiting
be.
on the hear it too.
Should be out any moment now. It's still in this range here. It likes to pop up to
I like that, Ross.
201, but you got to like we're doing a 2,000 to 4,000 shares a minute here, so it's not there's no volume behind this.
Mhm.
Jack in the Box came out.
Yeah, there's a bunch of other earnings that I didn't mention, by the way, for anybody that is following closely. What else we got out there? We've got well, you mentioned Jack in the Box. That's not one that I would normally look to trade.
JCEK, Jack in the Box.
Let's see.
Guess they aren't selling tacos
Got
anytime soon.
Hillebrand Inc., Copa Holdings. No, that's coming out later.
Man,
Yeah,
I'm still surprised to see on Nvidia. I mean, there is a ton of orders still on there
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, they keep
after
Nano
hours.
Dimension.
this would be the ideal time to keep a little bit of a heavier book. Yeah. But you're
Oh,
right. Normally we see the book pretty much clear out. I mean,
yeah.
that looks heavy. I'm sure Nvidia is way, way bigger during the day, but it's bigger
Yep.
than most things overnight.
This this is what it looks like when a book clears out.
Yeah. Big empty wall.
This is what we're typically used to seeing.
Oh, all right, so we're getting a little more volatility here on Palo Alto. I haven't heard their data yet.
I have it up on breaking news as well as Benzinga in my ear. Have not heard anything, so
No,
I will interrupt you. I promise you,
no worries.
mid sentence if I hear anything.
Universal Technical, UTI, released their earnings. They're out.
I wonder if Palo Alto. Oh, well, oh no. I wonder if they're like, hey, we're just going to delay until NVIDIA releases. Like, let them go. Everybody focus there. Then we'll slide ours in afterwards.
Yeah, it depends. Well, maybe it depends if they want people to remember it or forget it. So if you want them to forget about it, then absolutely, you just wait and let Nvidia take the limelight. And then you're like, oh, by the way, we had a tough quarter.
We
Never
missed
mind
our
us over
numbers.
here.
Don't worry about us.
Don't worry about us. We'll be
Don't look
fine.
behind the curtain.
Yeah, but look at Nvidia.
Over there.
Yeah, look over there.
While we wait, all the Christmas movies are starting to come out. I'm so disappointed. It's before Thanksgiving.
Hmm. Yeah, decorations. Everything's Christmas right now.
I know.
I haven't even had a slice of turkey yet, and I'm already thinking about the next month. Such a
I was looking on Netflix yesterday. That's why I mentioned it. I just thought about it. There's like
Yeah,
5 Christmas movies out. And I'm like,
there,
oh,
yeah. 'Tis the
really?
season.
Come on. You got to at least wait till Thanksgiving. I know Thanksgiving's a little bit later than normal, but ooh.
Okay, well, it looks like the
Are
waiting
you
game
okay,
continues.
Alex? You're not getting electrified? Looking the
Palo
NVIDIA
Alto
chip?
is
Yeah.
yeah,
I have a
didn't do
feeling
anything.
Palo Alto's probably.
It's a dud.
hmm.
Did earnings come out?
I haven't
I
seen
have not
anything, but
heard anything.
again, your theory might be correct, Mike. They might be hiding behind the skirts of Nvidia here. Just saying, please don't pay attention to us.
Just please don't. We don't really want to.
Yeah, nothing to see here. All
Nothing to
right.
see.
Yeah, that's going nowhere. I mean, we're getting a lot more volume on Nvidia. Nvidia's trading more volume after hours than a lot of stocks. Well, than Palo Alto was trading during market hours. So,
Yeah.
Nvidia's still getting 180, 160,000 shares a minute going through here. So it's certainly active. I have, well, yeah, you don't know my sad tale, but yeah, I struggle to watch those Hallmark movies.
I love
I
having them on in the background. They're
I
just
don't
great.
I'm I don't struggle to watch them because they never come
Up
on.
there we go. Palo Alto definitely came
Oh, there
out.
you go.
There it is.
Yeah, numbers
Yeah.
are definitely out. Look at that. Okay.
93 cents.
Okay.
Estimate of 89. 93 cents on 89. Beat
Yep,
on earnings per share.
that
Okay.
is correct. And revenue.
2.47 billion versus 2.46. So they beat and beat.
There you go. Beat their numbers. Good.
And they turned.
Yeah.
That was quite the spin. I imagine they will go right back to 200.
Yep.
Hmm. Well, that was very, very thin.
They
I
were
saw
5 minutes late.
I saw a bid-ask spread at $4 to $5 in that
It's at
candle.
2.5 right now.
That makes
Hmm.
sense. Yeah, it's exactly. It's over two right now. So
Yeah.
as opposed to Nvidia's spread, which is 5 cents. I still, it's amazing to me.
So I guess if you took an anticipatory long, you might have been able to bail really quickly, but
I
now
don't
it's
know if you
looking
could
like
have
a
gotten filled though.
exactly. I mean, even on the ask, I mean,
Ah,
I think I saw 210 at one point, but
Wow.
it was very, very fast up there.
Yeah.
And now we're back at 200. So that's the kind
yeah,
of
we're
stuff
we're
that
nowhere
can.
near it tried to get that 215 level,
Hmm.
but
Must have hit some resistance somewhere. I mean, I see another
eh,
area of interest right here, but usually they can go a little bit further before they turn.
yeah,
I don't typically like to pair the technicals too much because then I'll just have too many levels, but not quite the
not quite
exciting show.
215. I mean, that's
So,
not even at candles 206. That is 210.
yeah, so one common thing to look for here is because the spike was about $10 to $12, usually the next part of the move will be about $10 to $12 in the other direction. So now I'm kind of measuring from the body of about 200 where the candle itself turned red.
Here's
And we're
this.
looking for about $10 to $12 down now that it's starting to sell. It
Here,
spikes to turn, and very common measurement way to get your next target. So 190, and then if we're lucky, 187, but they missed the upper target, so I
yeah.
assume they'll miss it over here too.
There's a large order at 190.30 that got cleared out. And then,
And you were saying 195 was bidding at first, so they did fill
yeah.
that pretty easily. Hmm.
Now there's a thousand on 196.90 and 194.
Yeah, at this point, I wouldn't even be looking long. Anytime a stock
Yeah.
spikes up like that, catching the bottom end is basically like trying to avoid an initiation. You're trying to change the direction of something that tried and failed. So if I ever see a spike candle high, I assume they're gonna go just as far
Lower.
in the other direction. And if you're lucky, it'll stabilize, but good luck. So um, yeah, you're already seeing like your 189. 187 would be an ideal. It, I call it like a mirroring or just a mimic of the spike because you're trying to match the distance on the move.
Yeah, you basically got what we got here 188.
Yeah, they should hopefully tear down to those, and then if we stabilize, then that could be the lowest part of the candle. Definitely not a lull on that one. Not interested. Gotta know when to hold them and know when to not touch them. That is a not touch them candle.
to, to very liberally paraphrase Kenny,
Ah,
rest his soul.
interesting. Palo Alto says they also are acquiring Chronosphere for 3.35 billion in cash.
Another acquisition. They had announced a little while
Yeah.
back an acquisition because they were buying
CyberArk.
CyberArk, yes. So
Yep.
so that was back in July when they announced that. So yeah,
Yep.
they're acquisitive at this point, are they?
They're in a buying mood. They like
Yeah,
to own things.
Hey,
I guess more you gotta
they're
own that.
like, we don't have that. We need that. Buy it. Cheaper to buy than it is to develop.
That's true. I mean, I worked for a company that was their entire philosophy.
Cheaper to buy it.
Just trying to see if they do a perfect little mirror kind of candle here, reflection candle. I mean, with 200 being the center price of this reaction, it's kind of easy to measure. I mean, we're very close to where I'd expect it to be. And the logic here is like you're going to get a similar distance with the mid price. Um, it also helps you understand that like once you see the spike, you can't really hold on anymore. You got to leave. And no matter if you longed it right at 200 or not, this downside is going to be equal in size. Market loves to do this.
Yeah. Now we're over on NVIDIA. Let's see what NVIDIA does.
Yeah, we'll let that candle percolate a little bit longer. I want to see 187. If it's perfect, I guess 187.50 would be perfect. I'll clap at the market maker and say good job. Nice work.
Well done, buddy.
But
187.50.
yeah, what we topped out, where did we top out? To 12.50. It'd be absolutely perfect. 187.50, call it a day. It also helps if you're short. I don't know if anyone took a short off of that, whether you saw the spike forming or just took it right at 200 when it was reoffered. You also want to know your targets. And to me, I'm talking targets now because I don't want to get into it long and I don't think the short is worth it at this point. But someone who's a little bit higher would want to know this information, get those orders filled and make that money. So.
There's 188 that just cleared.
It's almost there.
187.
Almost there. Oh, 65. Look how close it is. Ah, man. The market is a dumb system sometimes, and you just say, well, at least I understand what they're doing. Everything else you leave up to the price action.
Here we go. NVIDIA. NVIDIA.
So
Yeah,
Nvidia got yeah, just
we just
remember
got 187.50. So
remember
perfect.
these moves that look, big, if you will, now are going to look tiny in a minute or two.
Yeah. We'll now switch over to NVIDIA. Put some eyes on here. I guess I'll be afraid of a spike now. I mean, if Palo Alto can do it, why can't NVIDIA?
Hmm.
No.
That's a little concerning.
I My inclination is NVIDIA needs to blow out earnings for people to be happy.
Oh
I
yeah.
just I don't think, yay, good job. You made expectations. We expected that. I want explosive.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct. I mean, but that's been the way for a while that they sort of needed
Yeah.
to
Ooh.
over deliver.
Benzinga even gave a 10-second countdown, like they're even waiting. He's right there on it, waiting. Here we go.
Up here, not that big though, just a couple of
Dollar
bucks.
30.
Keeping an eye out here for 190 to clear.
130 earnings per share, a beat.
Okay, there's the 190.
$57 billion.
You could tell they're
Revenue.
fighting it right there, right at 190. They fought it. I think they're losing though.
Data. Gaming revenue up 30%. Data revenue up 66%.
It's good. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I think the sellers just they bailed there.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's
look at that.
fun right here.
205.
It doesn't feel explosive enough to get
No.
that high. But we'll see what we got here. It's still moving.
The next big one looks like let's open this up a little so we can see the numbers. 195 looks like the next big one.
Yeah, they're
Let's
definitely
see if
gonna
we can get through 195.
start driving towards the next big tiers here. They're doing a good job. They're not letting it drop, clearing orders pretty well. You'd actually prefer the consistent drives versus those big erratic moves. That way you can kind of see the flow a little easier.
And Nvidia is what, $2.5 or $5 spreads
I believe it is two
on
and
the
a
option?
halves.
Two and a
Yeah.
half. So we're looking at 197.50 next.
Yeah, as it tears up, as long as
That's
it's holding.
not a lot at 197.50, but a lot at 198. Looking for $65 billion for next revenue.
They're keeping it on the buy side right now. I think every time I've seen it drop, they've absorbed any bidders that were nearby. So far so good. The Bulls.
Uh,
I know Peter's out there looking for a short, so
You bet he is.
it's coming. It's
$195,
There we
coming.
go.
65.
All right.
Yeah. I
So
think we can
that
use these $5 ranges to kind of see some pullbacks, but we're getting into our upper tiers here. And if you've been trading the video the past couple weeks, 190 and 195 are just like harder
Yep.
spots. But it's just because of those heavy options. So um, yeah, we're pulling in right here. That's about a $2.50 drop there.
I keep automatically putting a stop in, and I gotta take it
Yeah,
off
no
just to
stops.
remind myself
You
it's
gotta
not
No
go.
going to
stops
work.
in after hours.
You gotta go
Exactly.
wide
It's
open
not
on
going
this
to
one.
work. So don't.
I'm doing
So
it too.
I am short Nvidia.
Yeah, me
Just so
too.
you know,
Me
I
too.
got short at 195, taking
Yeah, they're
partials just below 194, and then another partial below 193.
starting to drop
So,
off here a bit. Pull
and I
in.
don't know how long this trade's going to work. I mean, it might not be a very long-term thing. I'm not. That's why I'm taking partials fairly aggressively. There's usually a pullback, but this thing could go all up all night. So, ooh.
Usually those surges are kind of what are useful to help us time our exits too. Because market maker kind of gets a little aggressive here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking some off near 192.30 and then feeling pretty comfortable. I think I'm 194, 760 is my average. So
Let's see
There you go.
190.
Taking another partial.
Let's see
And
190.
here
I'm gonna skip to the $2.50. Skip
feels
to
like
Mobu.
feels like
There's
190 is a
191.
reasonable place for it to
There we
bounce.
go. There we go. Thank
Leading architectures, their Blackwell platform, they said 190. Did
How
that get
fast is
190? Did that get 190? No, it didn't. I wanted to see 190.
Yeah, I got a decent fill at like 190.70, but I couldn't get close enough to 190 to get filled.
Oh, really? I tried to get below 191 and I got filled at 191.31, so I didn't even
Yeah, it's
I, s-
jumpy. It's a little
I
jumpy.
swore I clicked the button below 191.
It doesn't matter. It's someone there to
Yeah,
fill you.
yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah, so this part will get a little tricky because we did
All
clear
cloud
190.
GPUs are sold out, according to the CEO.
Nice.
just for
So the demand's still pretty high.
Yeah.
But does it deserve this price tag? It's the whole point. You can have a high demand for your stuff, but is it
We'll,
worth the cost?
we'll see what they say at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
here's
Yeah, right now, I think Peter and I are stuck between a rock and a hard place.
yeah, I got in a little early and then I added at 195, so my average is just above 194. So if we get back up there to 194, I'm going to be out. But I'm showing you
I'm
guys my
looking for
Oh,
190.
these.
There we
yep,
go.
it's getting filled.
190.
There it is.
Yeah, come on.
190 got
Some
filled.
fills.
I think I just want to
See if we can't
keep
get
keep my
There
going
it
eye.
higher
is.
now.
Yep, it jumped up. I
Let
knew
me
it.
see this thing start pushing higher back up.
So now 190 is kind of defending. Yeah, we're probably going to go at least to 193 on this bounce. I'm kind of using the edges here. This is where it gets tough because you'll have a buyer and a seller.
Ah, come on. Not so much yet.
Are we trading in opposite directions, Mike?
Yes, we are.
Okay. All right.
I'm
It
trying to get, but
my
yes.
what I saw on the earnings is normally, if it's good and people love it, it gets explosive and you just go huge. Like it would have gone up faster, closer to 200 in my opinion. So that's why I thought once I saw that movement upwards falter, it was good for a short. Now, your long, assuming you got in here around 191, is not unreasonable,
No,
right?
I'm
Because it,
not
it
in
could
yet.
very well bounce.
I'm not in yet.
Oh, you're not in yet. Okay.
No,
Just
I
want-
didn't. I wanted 191, but it bounced too quick.
Mm,
And
yeah.
because it got up to 192, then I didn't want to enter and go chasing. So
Right.
now it's kind of because thinking on Jared's thought process, right? 250 is your next option chain, right? Like
Yeah.
you get in at 192, what are you doing? You're setting yourself up for failure with a 190. So
Yeah, usually
And
I'm
as
seeing
usually
like orders there.
yeah,
And as usually happens after hours, look at the ramp on volume, right? How it's clearly ramping down. And that happens
yeah,
usually, right? It's a pretty aggressive. Now, keep in mind, even at this downward ramp, that volume that looks flat right before earnings were announced, that was still 150,000 shares a minute. So, like there's still liquidity. But
Mhm.
it's not when it was announced, what did we hit? In that 1 minute, we hit 1.4 million shares. So there are stocks that don't trade that all day.
now I don't like it because we just made a lower low too.
Yeah, it's not looking great for a long right now, but it's after hours, right? So
Yeah.
anything could pop in any direction at any time. Keep that in mind, anybody who's trying to trade this. So I got my finger on the trigger. As much as I'm talking to you guys, I'm not, my eyes are glued to the screen here. Because I know this thing could easily
See, it
pop or
keeps
drop.
trying that 192. It just cannot get above 192 right now.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking at the indexes now too. This move is a little smaller than what was expected, so even the indices aren't really breaking anything. I mean, the SPY didn't even clear high of day. QQQ is pretty muted on this reaction, so it's a combination of like we might just not have the volume yet, and I think this is a case where unless the conference call moves it more significantly or changes it, um, we might need volume from the session to actually get some of those bigger targets. I mean, I got to give it to the bulls. The stock's moving up, and
Mhm.
if 200 is still kind of a heavy hand, I've seen Nvidia move $5 a day, so it's probably going to do it. It'll just be a matter of we need the volume. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah,
right now we're
no,
stuck between 190, 250, and
yeah,
190, just ping-ponging between the
just
two.
playing.
We're just out here playing.
Yeah, I'm just playing.
But I like the trade volume on Nvidia regardless. It's very manageable and you can kind of size up a little bit more than average on an overnight trade. I mean, you can still sweat bullets while it's happening, but yeah, at least the sizing's okay. So some things that were mentioned actually by our guest speaker this morning, Brent from Spot Gamma. The idea is that depending on how NVIDIA reacts to its earnings, we could see some other sympathy coming back into stocks like CoreWeave, which has a high degree of relationship between the whole AI factor and some of the ongoing cyclical analysis we're doing. Um,
Interesting. Oh, go ahead, Jared. I thought you were
and
done.
and just some other plays that really we've just been seeing the sourness in the AI story as of the past like month. So if Nvidia can renew some of that enthusiasm, you might actually see some pretty aggressive short covering in stocks like CoreWeave. Just some ideas for tomorrow. And those are moving up as of right now. Like CoreWeave is, I mean, it's pushing $4 to $5 a share right now, which is significant. That's a lot of volume to move. So something to consider.
Yeah, the AMD
Hmm.
actually popped up on Nvidia's earnings. Got a $4 move on AMD
Nice. Yeah.
initially, and then just kind of held out there, as you can see. So, so along what you're saying, sympathy moves.
Yeah. It's either semiconductor sympathy, beaten up AI stock, kind of renewed optimism in it, or at least like a revival of maybe the story behind this whole cycle of AI.
Yeah,
Along, I mean, some of the discussion was more towards like the credit spreads that are going on between how OpenAI has structured some of these deals, but I don't know enough about that yet to really say much. I know if the candles are going up on those beaten up stocks, there's a lot of room to the upside. They're down
yeah.
heavily right now.
Yeah. Like you look at AMD's volume, nothing, and then the earnings come out and you start getting some AMD volume in there as well. NVIDIA getting pushing up 194.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
it is.
buyers at 190, they held their hand. Probably gonna clear. Here comes the push. See if we have any sellers willing to step in one more time.
AMD's still pushing. Ooh.
Or we've hidden 80. That one's definitely gonna be on the list tomorrow. There's a chance I could really squeeze.
What's CoreWeave sticker?
CRWV,
CR.
really sharp turn
Oh yeah, look at that. It definitely went off of their earnings as well.
there. Like if I were trading just that 1 or 5 minute trend, that's about as clean as a move we can expect intraday. It's very strong. All right, Peter, where's our mountain passers? We need someone to stop this.
I don't know that that pattern works after hours here, so that's
This mountain's about to bust. We're about to turn into a volcano.
Yeah. So,
And as always, if we do get kind of caught up in this range one more time, remember that the earnings conference call can be the real kicker. Um, I'm hoping for something to kind of lead to a clue as to whether we can break again or not, but it might take that actual conference call to get it going again, for better or for worse.
warranty void if broken.
Yeah, lots of tickers up. Palantir might be starting to recover. Look how big Palantir is moving right now. It's like a four-ish, $5 move there. Yeah. A lot of sympathy behind just what Nvidia does and the story. It's all about just the price action of this story. So I'm hoping some of our YouTube and chat room traders caught some of this. We're kind of looking for some ideas into tomorrow now that we see the reaction here. But I'm a I'm a fan of playing the leader. I'm a fan of playing maybe a laggard or some sympathy play, and then I'm a fan of looking for anything that maybe has like an asymmetrical risk to reward. I think only something that's been beaten down significantly and a recovery of the price would lead to sort of that asymmetrical risk reward, whereas the leader is going to tell me whether it's going up or down. And if you can't tell, Peter and I are sweating bullets here, so it must
Yeah.
be going up.
Yeah, I'm keeping a tight eye on this, but it's back at my break even. I tried to add into it here too, and it's that may play against me.
Yeah. I am actually going to drop. My daughter is actually calling me, but thank you, everybody. Jared, Peter, great luck with your trade.
Okay.
All right.
Hopefully, it continues to go in your direction.
We will vote for 5 trillion tomorrow in honor of you, Mike.
I
Yeah, I'm all
know.
for it
I'm
tomorrow.
hoping
Yeah.
maybe we'll get it.
All
All
right.
right. Take care, everybody.
Later,
Later.
Mike. Yeah, I think we're just about wrapping up here as well. Maybe Peter and I massage this trade a bit more, but honestly, I might flip because sellers aren't doing it. They're starting to
No,
lose. So
they're
I don't mind flipping up here if they're going to break out.
I don't know what it's going to do. It's very uncertain right here, so you're not
Hmm.
seeing a lot of conviction either direction. Although, obviously higher has been the momentum for the last few minutes.
Yeah,
I don't know how to say it.
I mean, I see us kind of trading around this mid price, 192.50, but we might have gotten the best partials. So
Right.
unless I get a full breakdown of 190, I'm not going to get any better, price action without an ad. And I don't know if I trust the sellers yet. So a lot of under and over right now. But hopefully, just the logic of what we think about when we're about to enter a trade, it's a little bit about what price to execute on. 195, just a key psychological, a big open interest in the option market. Additionally, where should we cover? Because, shorting the top of a move is only as good as if the candle goes down. So
Right.
we obviously want to cover close to 190. And then everything else, I think it often relies on like a consolidation. It takes a lot more time to get any further distance. So bulls are going to be happy if we can break out. I mean, if Peter and I can hang on here, we got to drop 190 to do anything. And we're stuck in the
I,
middle
I was
again.
saying in chat, Jared, that Peter took off the jacket too early. He had to keep it on
Yeah,
for
Exactly.
this
maybe,
trade.
maybe that's what I needed to do. Well, if I left the jacket on, it might go higher. I guess being that I'm
That's
shorting
true.
it, maybe I should have
Hmm.
taken the jacket off.
I'll interrupt here, guys. Just quick reminder, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube, and also subscribe if you haven't, so you can see us watching live trades every market open. So subscribe and hit that thumbs up.
Jared and I will continue to nurse these trades. It's probably about time for us to close her down. So the earnings call is coming up in 20 minutes. That will cause some further movement, but that's harder to play because, of course, you don't know exactly what they're going to say or the timing of that as it sort of hits the airwaves. So whatever you're doing, trade cautiously. Have a great evening, everybody. Thank you, Jared, Mike, who's already gone, and of course, Carlos for managing everything in the background.
Yeah, and feel free to join us tomorrow morning. We'll have some new trade ideas based on this report. Bye for now.
Take care, everybody. Bye.